Understand me?
There's a scripture that says, "What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?"
This is a lesson for y'all simps out here as far as the perspective of keeping your whole organization in order, understand me? When you start simping, aka within the context of a man and a woman, Pastor, when you start trying to chase your woman and validate her and please her, what you don't understand, simp, is you actually putting that woman above the Lord. You don't know that at the time, but that's what you're doing. You know what's going to happen? You guaranteed to lose the woman. You're going to lose the woman because you put the woman above the Lord. So if
Without
you go,
divine order.
Understand me?
Yeah.
So the Lord going to take her from you. You think you're doing the right thing by worshiping her and laying out the red carpet for no reason whatsoever. Whatsoever, she ain't earned none of that. You just doing because you feel like it's the right thing to do, and the Lord go take you from her. I ain't seen one simp out here right now, Pastor, who is still winning. Every simp right now in 2022, Pastor, taking L's, big L's, Pastor. They losing everything they got, including the woman. Understand me?
There's a scripture that says, "What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?"
This is a lesson for y'all simps out here as far as the perspective of keeping your whole organization in order, understand me? When you start simping, aka within the context of a man and a woman, Pastor, when you start trying to chase your woman and validate her and please her, what you don't understand, simp, is you actually putting that woman above the Lord. You don't know that at the time, but that's what you're doing. You know what's going to happen? You guaranteed to lose the woman. You're going to lose the woman because you put the woman above the Lord. So if
Without
you go,
divine order.
Understand me?
Yeah.
So the Lord going to take her from you. You think you're doing the right thing by worshiping her and laying out the red carpet for no reason whatsoever. Whatsoever, she ain't earned none of that. You just doing because you feel like it's the right thing to do, and the Lord go take you from her. I ain't seen one simp out here right now, Pastor, who is still winning. Every simp right now in 2022, Pastor, taking L's, big L's, Pastor. They losing everything they got, including the woman. You understand me? This 1100 famous, I done said I hold this pimping, Pastor. You know what I'm saying? This dip on my chip go long, understand me?
It go long.
It go long and strong, understand me, Pastor? Go long and strong, huh, baby?
We still,
you understand me,
this
Pastor?
guy right here, he still
You understand me,
we got
Pastor?
to pray. We got to pray just to make it today.
We got to pray just to make it today.
I don't fool with them canteen things. I like them big chips, you understand me? I like a lot of dip, Pastor.
Maggi onion soup and Nestle reduced cream for the freshest, creamiest dip.
A whole lot of dip on my chip.
We're going to try to get back to this verse. He showed out every now and then. We got to wait on him sometime, but we're going to get back to the word.
So, I let them scoop, Pastor.
Verse 2. Verse 2. That's what happened when the word try to go full. Somebody always trying to talk.
Hey, big grab, Pastor. Hey, you want the big grab?
We never know how the show gonna go. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give him a moment.
Big grab, Pastor. Hey, Pastor, hold it.
Lord help. Verse 2.
I want all of it, Pastor. All of it.
Verse 2.
So we are here today to introduce to you the best show that's going to be on YouTube from past, present, and the future. We are here on the congregation couch. I am the pimp, aka the presidential intellectual masculinity perceived. This is my comrade and partner in crime and doing things that rhyme, Pastor Marquise Cummings.
Appreciate that introduction, man. God created mankind, so everything was good already. And then, while everything was good, he decided to create mankind in his own image.
His own image. We're going to start it off from the very beginning on what I believe to be what started all the simple things going on, the anti-pimp way, the anti-dip on your chip way, you know what I'm saying? The things that get you where you want to go, get you in your move and your groove. Adam fell us all, baby, and I'm here to let y'all know that the pimp way is on the way. So we are here today to introduce to you the best show that's going to be on YouTube from past, present, and the future. We are here on the congregation couch. I am the pimp, aka the presidential intellectual masculinity perceived. This is my comrade and partner in crime and doing things that rhyme, Pastor Marquise Combs.
Appreciate that introduction, man. God created mankind. So everything was good already. And then, while everything was good, he decided to create mankind in his own image.
His own image. We're going to start it off from the very beginning on what I believe to be what started all the simp things going on, the anti-pimp way, the anti-dip on your chip way, you know what I'm saying? The things that get you where you want to go, get you in your move, in your groove. Adam failed us all, baby, and I'm here to let y'all know that the pimp way is on the way. So we are here today to introduce to you the best show that's going to be on YouTube from past, present, and the future. We are here on the congregation couch. I am the pimp, aka the presidential intellectual masculinity perceived. This is my comrade and partner in crime and doing things that rhyme, Pastor Marquise Combs.
Appreciate that introduction, man. God created mankind. So everything was good already. And then, while everything was good, he decided to create mankind in his own image.
His own image. We're going to start it off from the very beginning on what I believe to be what started all the simp things going on, the anti-pimp way, the anti-dip on your chip way, you know what I'm saying? The things that get you where you want to go, get you in your move, in your groove. Adam failed us all, baby, and I'm here to let y'all know that the pimp way is on the way. Hello, everybody. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me, understand me. If you can hear me loud and clear, baby. Understand me? We got a good topic for tonight, understand me? Let me know if you can hear me, understand me? Let me know if you can hear what I'm talking about, understand me? Let me put my earphones in and see. So I can hear myself, understand me? See what's going on out here in this world. See if I can't hear myself, understand me? We good to go, baby. All right. It's a pleasure and a privilege, understand me, to come and bring y'all these topics, you know. Understand me? We got some people that's going to join the chat whenever they get themselves situated, understand me? Let me go ahead and get my technical things in order. Hope y'all like the previews, understand me? Let me go ahead and bring it up on my end so I can see what's going on, so I can see what y'all see and hear what y'all hear. Oh yeah, that quality is good. That's some good. That's some good quality right there. We coming in 4K right now, understand me? I had to fix my camera last time. We wouldn't want to come through with the quality that I like to see, but I'm looking at it right now. It look damn good, understand me? Where we start. So I want to preface this before we even start diving into these topics, man. Let me say this before we even get started. All this that I'm going to say tonight is coming from a place of love, man. Don't take anything I say in a method or in a manner that gets you kind of in your feelings, understand me? This is just a logical solution for a problem, understand me, that you may or may not have, understand me, when it comes to perceiving and pursuing and accomplishing your goals in life, understand me, when it comes with the context of a man and woman in a relationship, understand me. If anybody got any questions, anybody want to join the conversation, understand me, the link is pinned to the top, the pin link on top of the chats, understand me? You want to dive in? Don't hesitate. Everybody's welcome. With that said, go dive right into these conversations. what is a strong, independent woman? Understand me? What exactly is that? What exactly is that in 2022? Understand me? My perception of it is basically any woman that has the ability to take care and provide for herself by herself on her terms. You understand me? But other than that, what else really falls into that category? Because we aren't designed to be alone out here in this world, man. Understand me? You don't know me. I got 2 BBWs. Understand me? One of them just wasn't enough. Had 3, but one of them a little selfish. Understand me? Had to give her a little time out. Understand me? She might come back. Who knows? But it's all good, baby. It's all love. But what is a strong, independent woman? So let's dive into the words, the wordplay of it all. Understand me? Got the word strong. Understand me? What does that really mean when you're applying it to a woman? We can't be talking about physical strength. That just don't compute. Understand me? I got a text right quick on. Understand me? We're gonna have somebody come in, you understand me? We're gonna have the female perspective. We're gonna have the pastor, understand? He gonna bring a couple verses, understand me? Let me get my sound back. I keep forgetting I gotta keep it on the phone so I can hear what's going on. So we're talking about the strength. But there's been several things in society that's put us in a position where women can be quote unquote strong and independent. They can work in corporate America, understand me? They really can live and exist without the assistance of a man, understand me? So you can say a strong and independent woman is pretty much any woman that has the means to go and work and take care of herself without a man really even being in the picture to really provide anything other than a warm body, understand? And most women really do believe that that's all a man can provide to them because they haven't really ever experienced what they really want out of a man. They've been getting wolf tickets, understand me? What is the value that a woman really needs from a man in 2022? It ain't the money. Hence the strong independence narrative. Hence the strong independent narrative because they don't need the man's money anymore. T. Jakes went in on this a while back. He got a little flack for it. He pretty much said that women have been conditioned to be masculine and it's all get out. And whenever they put themselves in a position, men have a hard time finding their lane to get in to actually provide any value to the woman, understand? So society is telling the women that be strong and independent. They've told themselves that they don't need to be submissive or dependent on the man. So society continues to be what it is to the point to where nobody's really coming together. Like the fabric of society is built off the family, understand? It's most unfortunate that we can't really come together to do the core item, the core thing, the simple action in order to get our society where we really want it to go. Nobody wants to be out here by themselves trying to do things on their own, understand? They just ain't how God designed it. So y'all chime in, y'all let me know what y'all think a strong independent woman is. And if you want to call in, give a little context, understand me, don't hesitate. If you want to circle back around on a topic after I talked about it, we bring it back up. But we're about to go on to the next one. I think we beat that horse to death, man. Basically, a strong, independent woman is a woman who feels like she can, not even feel like, she has the capability of taking care of herself, at least bare minimum financially, without the need of a man's presence. However she accomplishes it, it don't even matter if she's getting government assistance like that. Even women that are getting government assistance still put themselves in the category of strong, independent woman. Any woman that has a livelihood, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and a man is not involved with providing any kind of financial support to that, she considers herself strong, independent. Even if he's on child support, if he's not in the house, she's strong, independent. That's just the blanket definition I'm going to give. Moving on. So we're going to move on to, we established the blanket statement for most women. I'm going to dive into what is an alpha female, quote unquote. So in today's society, an alpha female and a strong, independent woman, they kind of intertwine, understand me? They kind of could be considered the same thing, understand me? From my perspective, I can't really tell a big difference between the strong, independent woman and the alpha female. Personally, I can't see a big gap between those two. Only difference I really can say far as the quote unquote alpha female, and then once we get through lining out these definitions, what society tells us, I'm going to circle back around and give you what I think it is, and I really do believe. We'll get there. Hold on. Let me preface everything right quick. So I put my definition that the alpha female is the woman that's like a step above. She's a step above the strong, independent woman, right? So we already laid out every woman that has the means of sustaining herself by herself is a strong, independent woman. The alpha female now, that's a whole nother can of worms where she's really in a scenario where she really does have the capability and the means to really literally dominate men, understand me? Not necessarily physically, and 99% of the time it won't ever be physically, but she can dominate and control them mentally, understand me? And she may or may not have a high-paying job. We're talking 6 figures plus in corporate America. Whether she's a nurse, some kind of CEO of some kind of business, something like that. You name it. Anything I think above, I say anything above 75,000, she'll put herself into that alpha female category just by default. Understand me? So with that said, that is direct. The alpha female is the direct counter energy to a simp man, if you don't understand that. Let me say that again. Most women nowadays are striving to put themselves into the alpha female category. Like, what woman wouldn't want to make 6 figures plus as a CEO of our own business? Now, the slippery slope of that is you have to learn as a woman to be able to still accomplish that task, and if need be, not even need be, you have to learn how to turn off the alpha female thing whenever you actually come home to a man you actually want to deal with and be with and be in love with, understand me? When it comes, it says a strong independent wants a man but don't need a man, understand me? Well, as I say, no woman really necessarily technically needs a man. But only thing they needed a man for at one point in time, whenever she did or didn't, is whenever she decided to have children. She needed the man then, but she hasn't really needed the man since then. So, yeah, like every woman fits into that. Every woman on earth fits into that strong independent category. There's technically no woman needs a man. Technically no man needs a woman. Once you're born, a man and a woman came together to reproduce you. But after that point, nobody needs anybody, technically. But the alpha female is the woman who, from her perspective, is a step above that. But from my perspective, the alpha female energy is the direct counter to the simp man energy. Both of those energies are incorrect when it comes to the proper relationship dynamic. For as the happily ever after home that we all sought out, that we all seek, we all want to get one day. The Huxtable, so to speak. And that's a good example, even though the things that happen with Pill Cosby, understand me? The Huxtables were a great example of the proper dynamic between a man and woman. You never really seen, even though arguably Clara Huxtable, she could have made more money than Cliff. Maybe not. Cliff was a doctor, she was a lawyer. Who knows who was making more money? But it was never really disclosed who was making the big bread, the big bank. We just knew both of them making good money. Both of them was in that boss situation. We talking about a doctor and a lawyer. But at no point in time on that show did you see Clara Huxtable barking at Cliff. Now, she might have had some things she wanted to express. She might have had some grievances, and she might have had some things she want to bring up to him before as the meow, meow, meow type thing you see in society today. That never happened. So if you want to let example, ladies, of the quote-unquote alpha female that can still be strong, independent, obviously, if she's making lawyer money, she obviously don't need Cliff. She wanted Cliff. Two totally different things, understand me? So alpha female is like, I guess you consider the boss chick, understand me? She don't need a man. She overlaps with the strong, independent, and she has the ability to make really good money. So every woman is only independent, but only a certain caliber of women consider themselves alpha females. And she may actually be in a leadership role with men or women, but it all boils down to her ability really usually to make money. Because the strong independent narrative is not really logical, because most women, 99% of women aren't stronger than men in general. We're talking about physical. So we already seen how they try to do the experiments with the sporting events in college. It wasn't working out too well. Women were getting destroyed whenever they had men who decided they wanted to be women now. I don't have any words for that, but we have seen demonstrated what happens when you put biological men, in competitive sports with biological women. They don't work out too well. So they banned it. We don't know if it's coming back. We don't know what they're going to do, but for right now, that's shut down. Next topic. Does being an alpha female work? Does it work? That depends on what you want. It's the same way when it comes to the situation with the simp man. You got to assess, what do you want out of life as a woman? If you want to be a career woman and work and to retire and not necessarily die alone, but never really get that man that you really want, never really get that man that keeps your blood boiling, never really get that man that actually turns you on all the time. If you don't value having a man in your dreams, quote unquote, then yes, being an alpha female does work. But if you actually want a man that you actually respect and love and desire at all times, understand me? Being an alpha female is probably not your path of least resistance to that. And I don't think, from my perspective, after studying this for like 5 years, implementing it, living it, I don't think it's even possible for a quote unquote alpha female to get the man she really wants. I really don't think it's possible at all. I've seen women that have, outside looking at you, think they have it all together. Everything you think you want, or everything you think a human or adult in life, everything you think they would want in life, you would assess outside looking in that they have all of that. They're beautiful. They have a lovely home, great career, children that seem to be well behaved on the outside looking in, understand? But the one thing they don't have is a man they really want. Even if they do have a man, it's not gonna be the man they want. It's gonna be a man they settle for. And we all know how big it is and how much people don't want to settle when it comes to these relationships, understand me? So the alpha female path in life is the path of getting the man you have to settle for. I don't advise anybody to settle for anything in life. I advise everybody to get exactly what they want, how they want it. But you have to measure up and process what happens when you do these certain tasks, conduct yourself in this manner, and what happens when you conduct yourself in the proper manner to get what you really want out of life. You can't have it all in life. There are rules and regulations to planet Earth, and you must follow those rules and regulations. If you don't follow those rules and regulations, you will get what you get, and you must deal with those results. Understand me? I didn't make the rules. I just learned to live by them. Understand me? So, from this perspective, understand me? The alpha female perspective just don't work. We got our first guest host, understand me, coming in, the man with the master plan, understand me. He gonna give us a little bit of spiritual background on it. Gonna bring him in, Pastor Marquis Collins, understand me.
Hey, how's it going, man? Been a long day, Doc. You see, I was in service earlier.
Pastor?
Everything going this evening, brother?
I don't know if I can hear you right now. Oh, yeah, I can hear you now.
Everything picking up?
All right. It's all good, man. Doing the Lord's work, understand me.
Oh, you know.
Camera figured out over here, man. You need to, I highly advise you turn your, like if you can, I don't know what your seating arrangement is, but put the light on the other side of you. Instead of having the light on your back, put it at your face, if that's possible. If not, it's all good.
Did it get a little better?
Let me get my sound note over here. Yeah, it's really just because that light is behind your head, but it's all good. Make it work. Growing pains of the first live, understand me?
Right.
A little different.
It picked up pretty good though.
Oh yeah, as long as we got a good camera and everything, you'll be all right. I'm looking real sharp over here. Understand me?
Yeah, you got it together.
Yeah, you can go ahead and raise it up some. I don't know if you got the tripod. But like I said, really, it's just a matter because the light is behind your head, so you got to really turn your whole body if that's possible. If not, then don't worry about it.
All right, bro.
You just raise the camera up some. You got all this stuff in your background. Go ahead and raise it up. Well, all we see is just your face in the frame. If that's possible, if you can raise up your tripod, you just go ahead and raise the level up. I see what it is for now, man. Got to get our lighting and stuff in order. We will get there. Understand me?
Right.
You got anything to chime in? How long have you been watching it? You got anything to chime in on this stuff, man? From your perspective, understand me?
I was just able to get on, man. To be honest with you, probably just do better than do it like that right there.
All right. So we already talked on what is an alpha female and what is I had a little bit of separation between what is a strong, independent woman, understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And what is an alpha female, understand me? And I had a little deviation between the two. And you can chime in on that and tell me how you feel. And then if you got some scriptures over there that you want to add to to kind of give a little more context on, is it anything actually biblically wrong with an alpha female? Is that actually biblically incorrect? Understand me? But just to lay it out,
I wouldn't see where there was anything that's been biblically stated to one being alpha, so to speak. You see several scriptures where one scripture may say, women learn in silence. But we
Say
as men,
again, it broke up a little bit.
I said there's a scripture that says that women learn in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So you have scriptures that kind of convey that women kind of stand beside or with, but definitely not leading, so to speak. But the reason why I believe they get out of bounds is because the man get out of bounds first, unfortunately. Because
Right. Yeah, first episode of our show, understand me? It wasn't even about Eve, it was about Adam failing to play his part, understand me? And that kind of put them in a bad spot.
Oh, most definitely. So everything has a divine order. And once we get away from the order of things, obviously you're gonna have some problems. It was designed for them to do half the stuff they're doing, but that's why we got survival of Simp, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. We trying to do it different. If everybody's watching this, the whole purpose of me being the person I am and him being the person who he is, and we coming together to really do this show is to have the two opposites, the way we all coming together for the greater good. You can see we have women on our show. You're never going to see on this show, on this platform, what you will never see. Even when we start getting to the point where we have live strangers calling in, we'll never get to the point where we arguing on our show. Now, you may have seen me getting irate and getting a little bit out of bounds on other people's platform because that's just what I'm going to do. But on this show, on this platform, we always go keep things cool, keep things play, understand me, and make sure that the word of God, understand me, is our guiding factor on whatever decision we make, whatever point we trying to prove. It's always going to be some spiritual context behind that. Understand me?
Yeah, man, that's been a good thing. And that's the thing, as we evolve on this journey or in life in general, you know, that's just a part of the process, even with just the technicalities that we're dealing with right now. It's you don't just become a man overnight. Your masculinity does not develop overnight. It's trial and error. So until a man fully grows into his whole self, you're gonna have the dilemma that we have until fathers start being fathers and fathering their children, especially their sons. And it's just gonna be like a revolving door. We gotta make a lot of things. My dad, he missed out on. It was my mama that was there at the football games. She was the designated quarterback, designated pitcher when we played baseball out there in the street on Charlotte Drive in Tyler, Texas. And that's kind of where the problem began. At the onset is dad not in the house, grandma and mama trying to raise the child and show him how to be a man in the way they see fit. And
so your mama was being a strong, independent woman.
Exactly.
Do you think, do you consider your mother do you put her in the category would you call her an alpha female at any point in time?
I would say.
First of all, give us, if you have a definition for what will be your, if it exists, because I really don't believe in the notion. I gave definition to society, what I would perceive what society deems alpha female, and basically my definition was a woman who she checks all the strong independent blocks, but she also has an upper echelon of financial 75 6 figures plus. Like she may be like a CEO type individual, and or she may be a high paying nurse or something like that. That's them the kind of women I would put into the alpha female category. So
that's typically where you're gonna probably find them, because once they're financially stable on their own, unless they've been brought up by a woman that didn't mind her role and her bank account didn't determine on who she was in society, then that's typically where that develops. Strong black women is taken out of context, because there's nothing wrong with a strong black woman, but it is a problem if the woman, for instance, like right now, teaching at a school, one thing that I see a lot happening at the elementary that I'm at is that women, they'll grab their boxes, they'll tote something in one arm, tote something in another arm, and try to open the door, and then open the door for you. Ultimately, the reason why they do it though is because the response I've gotten from them, I share with them, I say, my mom taught me to open the door for a lady, right? But their response is they're so used to doing it for themselves, used to doing everything for themselves, then that's kind of how they get into a habit of doing, I would say, masculine things. So they kind of misinterpret what that means, because in other words, they try to be both. You hear women say, I'm the mama and the daddy. Well, you will never be both mama and daddy. But also what they're saying is, if dad is not around, I've had to step up and do things that a dad should do. And I've tried to raise this young boy by myself the best I can. Or they'll take credit and say things like, I'm more of a dad than his daddy will ever be. But if that dude is a simp, she might be right. But
I already the last live. I already went down the path. I say 99% of men. We all was in a simp situation. I think men need to just put that shoe on and wear, and then maybe we can start progressing, because I see so many men that everything about them says simp to me, from what I understand, and they will still believe that they don't fall into that simp category, even though all the results they're getting out of life are results that only a simp would get.
Yeah. I'll attest to that, but they say, when you have a problem or a habit, you can't really get past it until you admit the problem, that you have a problem. So until that's established that you have a problem, then you're gonna continue to have that simp issue, if there's any. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to acknowledge, okay, perhaps it's one thing to love a woman, it's another thing to try to buy her, and we talk buy her out, and we talked about that earlier about that chick that ain't gonna cash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
if you can chime in, you want to go into that conversation we had. Can you break it down? Can you remember exactly what the point I was trying to make with that?
Yeah, basically, you selling the women a dream, and dreams really can't buy houses. It's a dream. You got to put some work into it. Dream is equivalent to me to work, because a dream does not come into fruition unless there's some work put behind it. So if you're gonna tell a woman, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, in time, if you were never gonna do this and never gonna do that, you're gonna be figured out. But they stuck it out with you because of what you said you would do. They put trust in you and what you said you'd do. But when you fail to do that, basically you done sold a wolf ticket. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women have grown frustrated with men because that's happened over and over again.
And that's all they got. They haven't got anything else. That's all that. I mean, I really do believe women are justified in their statement of saying there ain't no good men. All these men are dogs. It's a very high likelihood that they are absolutely correct.
It's definitely some relevancy in that. You know what I'm saying? You may not like it as a man, right? An alpha male, you might not like it, but it's some validity to it as a result of what they have experienced. They can only make that comment based off their experience with men, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? With that masculine male, so to speak. So they base that statement off of what they've experienced.
So just to give more context to that, church, all the people watching. So me and the pastor had a conversation, real in-depth conversation that we can apply both to our lives and to the lives of men we know. The reason why women get so frustrated with the quote-unquote nice guy and or the guy who just can't seem like he can't check all the blocks for us or whatever she wants out of him is because most women go into relationships with a pretense notion that this man is checking most of the blocks she needs out of a man. For us, he may have the ability to go make money. He may have the ability to be. He's a nice guy. He seems like he has good morals like that. He's like a relatively good individual, and to top it off, he may actually be handsome, right?
Heaven forbid that be the case, right?
Right. So the problem with that is that most men that may check all these blocks, they don't check the most important block, and that's the block of being a masculine man. They may look good, they may smell good, they may be in shape, they may be built like Hercules, but if they can't hold frame in the face of a hostile situation, no matter who they're dealing with, whether it's dealing with the woman herself or dealing with men out and about, or when it comes to him and his ability to be articulate or do whatever he needs to do in society, whenever a woman sees that a chink in that man's armor and his ability to maintain his masculine frame at all times, is literally like he's writing a hot check. So just to give the logical analogy for that, right? Whenever you decide to get into a relationship with a man, you are pretty much allowing him to provide you with some kind of valuable, tangible thing. And for the sake of argument, we can just call it a check. Like my opinion on the proper dynamic and the opinion of all the stuff I read and all the things that I've really processed to help me on my path is that the proper dynamic between a man and a woman and a romantic relationship is employee-employer, right? The kicker to that is women only need to accept jobs that they're willing to work for, meaning that the pay is good enough and you're willing to take the pay, and the pay is not deviating. If anything, the pay should go up. Now, what is the pay? The pay is literally your masculinity, your masculine frame, your ability to go out there and slay the dragon. Being a successful man in general is just typically nothing more than a byproduct of your masculinity. It's not because you just looked up and you just found a way to get a high paying job. Your masculinity, even with a woman, right? That's why I said the alpha female, right? Whenever a woman has the ability to go out there and be a corporate employee, or even the boss of the company herself, she is tapping into her masculinity to accomplish that task. That's why for a woman, she can be all of that, but she has to learn how to turn it off whenever she come back home. Because within the dynamic of a romantic relationship with a heterosexual couple, with a man and a woman, it's in your best interest to have the man be masculine and the woman be feminine, and they're always going to do this. The issue we have in society is that men and women do not see the value in that, because, and I would say, men are out here writing hot checks. They saying all the right things. They doing all the right things from the up front. And when I say up front, I'm not talking about him, buying you gifts and spoiling you and cutting the grass and taking out the trash. That has nothing to do with masculinity. A true man who's in his abundance of masculinity, he have a person that tends to his house. He'll never be taking out the garbage because he'll pay somebody to do that. So the task of him providing stuff for you isn't masculinity at all. What's actually masculine is his ability to get you to want to do stuff for him without him having to do anything for you to do it, other than to be masculine, if that makes sense. It's not about what he can do for you.
What you're saying, when you say that, and pardon me for cutting you off, but we dealt with the fact of the discussion we had on yesterday, how a woman stays loyal to a man that doesn't have as much money.
He had the potential to pay her, but then she gets upset when the pay never comes.
Yeah.
And let me reiterate, the pay is not money per se. The pay is his masculinity, his ability to go out there and get stuff done. Making money is just a byproduct of it. If he maintains masculinity and he understands, I need to go get some life skills, I need to go do something to accomplish myself, he's going to make some money. It's just a cause and effect.
So you're saying that a woman will and can voluntarily stay with the man that's lost the job, right? He lost his house, he lost the car, right? And about to lose his kids. He going to sign them over because the baby mama done told him he's so terrible that she don't even want to be on the paperwork. But yet he can still find that woman that will stick by his side and hold it down with him until he come up again.
As long as he's paying her, and the thing he's paying her with is masculinity. That's the tangible thing that she needs to maintain that. You can't accomplish that with money. What you talking about don't get done with money. She leave you, even if you got bread, she'll leave you.
It happened every day to these rich and famous folk. We see it every day.
Absolutely. That's the kicker, right? So if the richest man on earth, Bill Gates, is one of the richest men on earth, he couldn't keep his wife.
Richest man on earth.
One of them. I don't think he got passed up. He might be number 2, something like that. Maybe. And his wife left him. They both old. What on God's green earth makes an old woman want to go test the market or want to be single? She's old. So you're actually about to go get a new hot young man. Ain't no hot young men beating down her door. His fake checks. Even though he's the richest man in the world, his fake checks got to the point where it was too much for her to bear. She got tired of trying to cash these fake checks. AKA, it's all fluff and no substance. She working for a fake company. He's the richest man in the world, but writing hot checks.
Working for a fake company.
Right.
I mean, if the man who professes what these are the things that he's going to do as a man, and he doesn't fulfill those things. In fact, that's why the scripture said that a man's word is his bond. Ultimately, all we have, Norris, all Marquise has, without the titles, minus the titles, minus who you are at work, minus who you are right now, minus who you are with a suit on, a hat on, shades on, minus that, you still got to keep your word. your word is all you got. So once you give your word and it's not fulfilled as to what you say you're going to do,
there's a reason why the saying there, I'm a woman of my word, that saying doesn't exist.
That was a good one.
There's no such thing as a woman of my word. I'm a woman of my word. Have you heard anybody say that?
Yeah, so we gotta stick firm to, and then listen, what we say, it come with hurt, it come with disappointment, it come with failure. But at the end of the day, whatever you said you was gonna do, you still got to execute. You still got to execute under all kinds of pressures. You know, because pressure gonna be there. Pressure produce something. We talked about this some weeks ago. What pressure do? Some folk work well under pressure, and others they not gonna do nothing at all unless the pressure is there.
Right. So I'll go as far as say this. Right. We both have been married. We both have failed marriages. The reasons why our marriages failed because we was writing hot checks. Understand me? They wasn't getting paid what they want to get paid, and it got to the point where they stopped cashing them fake checks. They got upset and got frustrated with the fact that they writing checks. We rewrite them checks that we couldn't cash. Understand me?
Yeah, but hey, guess what? They remember. They like they say, hey, you said we was gonna take a trip last summer. We didn't take it. You and summer number 2 and 3 and still ain't went on that trip.
Understand me?
We
had a couple comments while we was talking. My bad, I missed them. Nico asked Pastor, how did that affect you as an adult in a relationship? In relation to how you approach women. So I don't know, we were talking about, she made the comment at 9:03. That was 10 minutes ago. So she said, how did that affect you? Nico, chime in again what you're referring to. So how did that affect you as an adult and how you approach women? I'm not really sure what you're referring to.
He's probably about when I said that my mom was out there and she was the designated quarterback, the designated pitcher for baseball, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And how that, I would say, that's a good question. Ultimately, it had me to look at my dad different and see more of my mother and her go hard.
You have a little bit of resentment towards your dad, or what was that?
I didn't model myself after him from what I saw as a result. From the lack of presence. If my mom was there at the football games, it wasn't my dad as often. You know what I'm saying? The track meets and so on and so forth. So, and then guess what else I saw? I saw my mom. She worked the train at night, and then she was at John Tyler substituting. Nico probably saw her at school. She was at John Tyler the next morning substituting after working a 10 to 6 shift. So the person that I admired at that age was my mom, and what I admired about her was to go hard.
Right.
To me,
that's the same experience I had. My mother was the one who was the breadwinner of our house. My dad was out there in the streets doing what he do, and my mother, she said she never wanted to take the street money from us. So that was a scenario with that. And she had some men that was in and out, and so it was some men that did more for me than my own dad did when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? So as a child, there's some things you don't really process, and I'm not really sure that really affected me personally. We just weren't taught the right thing to do. Like at no point in time did anybody sit me down and say, "Hey,
it's the
this
biggest
is how you act when it comes to women."
What you just said, that's the biggest effect. When he asked the question, how did it affect me in terms of how I approach women? It grew my respect for women. But then you got to be careful because my respect for women went up because I'm in a house with mom and 2 older sisters, right? So my regard for women had me in a place to where what was also needed as a man, I lacked in areas because though a woman wants to be treated with respect, she wants that man that respects himself enough not to allow her to run over him.
Right. I seen a saying where like the first person to rob a man of his masculinity is his mother. She whooping you. She disciplining you. Most of the time, if dad around, somebody got discipline, it's going to be your mama. So not to say that there's nothing wrong with women disciplining their sons because, sometimes in proper dynamics, she's going to be the only one around. I think the most beautiful words I can ever hear a woman say, ideally, even growing up as a child, it's like I didn't experience this myself, but I had neighbors that experienced it. and one of them turned out right, and the other ones turned out kind of bad. But one of the most glorious things I heard their mom say was, "I'm gonna tell your daddy when you get home." There was strength in that. Like she didn't have to whoop him. She just had to say, "I'm gonna tell your daddy when you get home," and that struck fear in their heart, man. Even I was scared.
Yeah,
it wasn't my daddy. I was like, "Damn, I'm about to get woke out. Let me get up out of here, man."
Right.
I don't want this smoke, man.
Well, see, now that strength, the strength that's in that statement is gone. It's gone because the fear factor, because the dad is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He out still trying to find himself.
The masculinity is gone. The daddy's gone because he was writing hot checks.
Yeah.
No matter what you did to get yourself in a situation, only way you can on God's green earth, you can find yourself in having children with somebody you not in your life child, like meaning you're not in the house 24/7. It because she's writing hot checks, aka simping, aka not maintaining masculinity, aka not staying your God energy. That's just what it is. I'm saying.
All of that.
Hey, we gotta call a spade, understand me? And that's the biggest thing, I think, and I really believe if the men correct themselves, the women would naturally be more feminine. They wouldn't have no choice.
I was just gonna say that because it's really never too late for it. Like you can turn the switch on just like that. You know, it's really just a mind thing. Like you see the results of where you were at this point in your life. We're talking about going through divorces here, and it's definitely not 100% blame to the woman. You got to own yours too. I'm guilty in my relationships where they have failed, saying yes too many times, right? Mm-hmm. Probably overcompensating the yes. You know, I figure behind the
he's doing that. You know why he was doing that? Because you know he's writing hot checks.
See that?
in a subconscious way, you knew every check you wrote to her wasn't really masculine. So you constantly trying to cover up the fact that you wrote her a hot check, meaning whatever you did wasn't from a masculine perspective, aka a hot check, aka simping. So the only thing you can do in your hot check writing mind is to keep writing more hot checks.
And eventually that's gonna run out.
Yeah. So she's trying to cash it.
It's inevitable. Yeah. So and then you know what we got to be careful when you've been in church and got a church background, you can misinterpret scripture oftentimes. We see the word submissive and everybody goes crazy with being submissive. They lose their mind behind just the word alone. But there's nothing wrong
because women ain't getting paid. Women getting paid in hot checks. Why would I be submissive when I know I'm not going? When I know most men can't pay me what I want to get paid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why would I be submissive when they know most men gonna be writing hot checks?
But
that's the problem we gotta solve, man. That's what we made the platform. But we done. But we having a lovely conversation, man. We're going to be here all night. But we got to get to the next topic. So we pretty much hammered that alpha female thing. We gave some examples, understand me? This is a good one right here. We got 2 men on the panel, so this will be a good one. Do men like alpha female? Pastor, you like alpha female? Do you want one? Is that what you're looking for in this stage of your life?
I got to be honest with you. I don't really have time for the rah-rah, you know. My mama, this is what she did put me on game with. Let me just say this. My mom was like, don't bring no woman home that cuss more than you, talk louder than you. And that ain't what you need. Then think about this. She said, don't bring no woman home that smoke and drink more than you and all that. Didn't really pay attention to that then because of the mindset that I was in. I was drinking, smoking, and so on and so forth. So that wasn't alarming in terms of choice of woman. Even probably being loud because the atmosphere that I chose to be in the streets. So loud really wasn't loud until I got quiet. If that makes sense. You feel me? When I calmed down and started evolving more as a man, loud really became loud. And then a female cussing at me became a matter. Where it used to be a thing like this girl right here, you know, that's my gangster boo. You know what I'm saying? Like this the ride or die. That's what it came off like in that mindset.
You know what's crazy
that
about that?
was the right fit until
At the time, I was actually kind of attracted to that. At that time, when I was young, my ex-wife was the type of woman that she wasn't a cussing, but she'll be real quick to be snappy with the mouth and be real quick to be snappy with her hands. Understand?
Right.
And I used to call it love taps because it didn't hurt. But like she'll pop me in a minute for nothing. Just like I don't know what I would do. Like I would do something and she'll give me like a love tap. Like whoa, and I used to like it. Like,
heavy-handed female.
Hey, but eventually they start hurting. Past, I'm like, yeah, I had to get my lick back on the thing.
Listen, this can go somewhere else, but I got to agree that opposites do attract, but you got to be careful of what you're trying to call being opposite and what you're referring to being opposite, because I don't at this point want no woman that's talking louder than me, walking in front of me. I've been in situations where the female, because of attention seeking, when you say looking for alpha female, the alpha female walks into the club and you behind her. She'll walk in and walk away from you. You know what I'm saying? Even in an outing setting where y'all don't want to, and I done seen what that alpha female look like, and there's no judge that if that's what they want to be, it's just not the woman for me. That's not gonna work for me.
Right.
So ask the question: am I looking for an alpha female? What I want one? The answer will be no. And at the same time, I don't want some mini mouse of a female that ain't got an opinion or a voice.
Oh no.
I don't want none of that either.
Right. So let me go ahead and talk about the whole submissive thing, right? Because all these women, if she an alpha female, she has the ability to be respectful and be tactful and be able to accomplish the task at hand and still get it done without being irate. They do it every day because most of these alpha females work a good job. Unless she owned the whole company, whenever her boss is giving her instructions or giving her a task or giving her a schedule, she takes those instructions, she carries those out to the utmost of her ability without any rebuttal. And she understands that if she don't continue to do her job duties to utmost of her ability or up to the standard of the job at hand, then she knows she has the likelihood of being fired. That's the beauty of this whole thing. When a woman is actually, when I say she's literally working for the man, she's not working for your money. She's working for your masculinity. That is an invaluable asset, and it's priceless at this moment because most men just don't have it. So when a woman really meets the man that has it, it's almost as if she's like head over heels. Like I won't say go crazy, but I've seen some women do some stuff that you would never think a woman would do just because she like a man that they really got their juice like that.
Just because of that, I would agree. I found out being older, going through failed relationships, that less is more. Sometimes you try to give so much, like I mentioned earlier, and I got a little sidetracked, but being in church, that church background, and this happy wife, happy life, and all these different mottos and metaphors that people are using related to it. It's really not no truth to that, no validity to that. Because if I'm not happy, she ain't gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? Something gonna have to change. So I got lost in the sauce for, if to please her would be to please God. And I said this before in one of our sit-down shows. I made myself believe to please her to please him. Now, granted, I can't lose, but too much of anything is where the sin comes in. That's where you fail. So it's all right to do some stuff. It's all right to take care of. It's all right to provide. It's all right to, try to take out on a nice date and flatter her with this and that. Send some flowers. All of that's fine and well, but too much of anything will mess anybody up. And what I didn't do, I didn't put a balance on that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't put and everything has to be done in moderation, and I didn't modify it the way it should have been. So I just found myself giving, and before you know it, that's my only way. And then you make the comment saying, "Oh, my female, she's spoiled." Guess what her response gonna be? You got me that way. So now, if that gimmick you use to get them, you got to do it to keep them. But now you figuring out that that's not the way you're trying to change up. Then quite naturally, that's contention in the house. You got a problem, because if you've been doing it and you refrain from doing what you've been doing, that's automatic problem. because you've already established that that's how you gonna rock. That's how you gonna operate to keep her happy. So that's what she's looking for. So when you try to make her adjustment,
spoiled like that is a woman who's experienced getting. She thinks she's spoiled. If she's really spoiled, she wouldn't be giving you a bunch of rebuttal about it. A truly spoiled woman is gonna be peaceful at all times. What's she gonna be upset about? There's nothing to be upset about. Somebody that's the crazy part about that word spoiled, right? Spoiled doesn't mean spoiled means you're out of bounds. Spoiled means you need to be thrown away. If some milk is spoiled, you throw it out.
I like that.
Woo-hoo.
I like that.
A spoiled woman needs to be thrown away. But if you spoiled her, then you gotta throw yourself away.
You know what? I think what has happened, and in both those relationships, what I tell you what, when I seen a problem, you know what I did? I again psyched myself out for going from a spiritual perspective, right? And you can try to be too deep sometime on a spiritual perspective because I trained myself for being in it so long to where I didn't confront things like I do now. Like right now, I see some right off the rip. We may have just had a confronting matter on day 1 and 2. With day 3, I'm gonna say something again. Whereas in the relationships that have failed, I went a week because I didn't want to sound redundant in the statement. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to hear myself keep telling this grown woman something or try to re-raise some grown woman. So I took some stuff that I would check now, or I would at least bring it to the table. We try to have an adult conversation now. Back then in those failed relationships, I just kind of held my tongue in. I said, I'm just pray about it. God gonna take care of it because I already talked about this before. So I'm gonna just leave that with God and right there. But then guess what? That goes back to the faith. Now that's faith without works is dead because I done prayed to God to fix it. But then there's still some work that I gotta do in order to change the problem too. You know, you can't just give it all over here. God, well, this your daughter, this your child. Take care of her, fix this attitude, fix this problem. But what am I doing in the meanwhile? Still giving, sending edible arrangements, sending flowers. You know what I'm saying? But all the while not confronting what needs to be confronted.
Writing more hot checks. You writing a hot check?
That don't so. That don't change. Guess what? And I know it's some men that's listening right now. You know, had the rose petals, you done had the candlelight, you had her special dish, you had all that. And what you was looking for was that happy ending that you didn't get. Why? Because she knew when you was doing all that, it was the same hot check you gave her the month before.
Mm-hmm.
And then you walking around mad for 3 or 4, 5 days because you didn't get the cutty, if you will, if it's okay for the preacher to say that, right? You didn't get on ATL they say we know who didn't get no cutty last night. You walking around looking angry because you thought that all that movie out to eat, opening the door, holding her hand, cuddling and spooning was gonna get it. No, you still expect it to be masculine all the time. If she get out of line, it's like children. Me teaching at the school now, oftentimes kids, they do stuff in order to get corrected. But here's the conflict of interest. Don't know adult man or woman want to be referred to as a child. Otherwise, it's an insult. And I heard things like when I would try to tell her something or try to coach her on something, both parties, they would get offended like, you ain't my daddy, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to re-raise me, I'm grown. But kids are looking for that structure though. When I go to the schoolhouse, the teacher that's passive versus the teacher that's confronting. There's some teachers that's just gonna look and let the kid do whatever they want to do, and then you have the teacher that's gonna come here and say, look, this is my class, this is how it's gonna go, right? This is how it's gonna be, and not just today. It's gonna be this way tomorrow until spring break and until summer break. As long as you're in my class, this is what it's gonna be. And guess what? You're gonna get more respect. That teacher is gonna get more respect than the teacher that's passing out candy.
Yep.
Right?
Asking
questions trying to watch movies.
I was installing some cables at the school one time, and it was weird to me. This was back when I really didn't understand everything altogether, but I could understand why the kids weren't responding to the women. It was a bunch. Schools are really overrun. Not overrun. I think that's the wrong word. Schools are really dominated by a feminine presence as far as the teachers. There's way more women teachers than men. And I was at
I'm
elementary school.
one of maybe 30 teachers on this campus. One.
Right. So,
2 men
it was weird for me to hear this, and this was when I was early in my walk. I understood the effectiveness of being assertive, but not necessarily attaching to masculinity. But so it was a group of kids in the class, right? They was lined up outside the hallway, and they was talking. You know how you supposed when you're in the hallway, you ain't supposed to be talking, but be just standing in line. Especially she moving the class from one person to another, like she's taking them a lunch or whatever, they're going somewhere other than the classroom, and she had them lined up, whatever. And instead of just giving the children instructions like, hey, go ahead and, make sure be quiet, she was like, I don't know why we're talking. Like, why don't you just give them instructions? Why? Because if you asking them a question, it's a natural human thing to respond to the question. Just give their children, just give them instructions and say, hey, we ain't going nowhere till y'all follow the instructions, instead of giving them opportunity to disobey you by asking, I don't know why we're doing this. Like, the reason why they're doing it because you ain't got you don't have the ability to control them. That's why.
Your best chance of having peace, whether in a job, in a relationship, is saying the uncomfortable things, the things that make people uncomfortable. You got to be willing to say that, especially if it's really how you feel down to the core. My dad told me something in my marriage before I got married. He said, son, let me tell you and your wife something.
We got somebody waiting in the lobby too, so I'm gonna bring her on once you get done with your last little thing.
Okay, well, yeah, he was saying that if you have a problem with them going out, let's say girls' night out, right? They take the girl night trip. If you have a problem with guys' night out, he was just giving it to us, but both. Don't say it's okay to go, and then when they come back, you tripping.
Right.
So basically, however you feeling in that moment, even if you don't want to come off, see, a lot of folks don't do it because of the insecurities, like or things in themselves. I don't want them to think I'm jealous or whatever the reason may be. Your best bet as a man is, no matter how the atmosphere in your household is going to be with your woman, is to speak your mind. And the cold part about it is, she been waiting on you to do it for weeks and months. She been waiting on you to do it.
Because that's a real check. Understand me? That's not a fake check.
That's a real check.
That's the check she actually cash. That's what she came there for.
Yeah.
Understand me?
Go ahead and bring me in, Bob.
All right.
I was hoping I could be in with the pastor and the pimp at the same time.
You live, baby. What's your mind? Understand me?
What's going on, pimp? What's going on, pastor?
Hey, man, we trying to save the world. Understand? You don't know. You already know we on. Understand me?
I know what y'all doing. Both of y'all were talking about how y'all mom works, and the reason why I asking how to
turn your if you got something on the background, turn it down for me, please.
Let me take my this Bluetooth off. Hold on. Am I better without the Bluetooth on? I tried to bring my headphones with me.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Is the sound better?
Yeah.
Okay. So y'all were talking about, like Marquise was talking about, well, the pastor was talking about how his mom went to work from 10 to 6 and then substituted at the school from 6 to whenever. Shoot, I seen my grandma do that. I saw my mom do that. And y'all are men. So just imagine a woman saying that. And, oh, then y'all getting loud in it? Hold on, let me move. They got started getting louder like when I got right there. Hold on, y'all. So I was just saying, how do you think that affected these strong, independent women? How do you think that affected these strong men? Like, as far as how they approach relationships today? Because for me, I feel like my mom was the breadwinner in the family. She was the one that was going out and doing it, and they didn't never say, hey, my mom still wanted my dad. My dad wasn't making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't, all you need to be there was, like y'all say, to provide for the kids, to be the penis, because my mom and dad got it on. So I feel like a lot of women today, they probably see their parents or their mom working hard and want to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and a man might be working a one job, and I just wonder how that affects society today. Period.
You gonna go first, Pastor? You there? Like you froze up.
I thought he did. That's why I was like, is he there?
Yeah. Uh, what it does it, for the men, and that the young boy that's in there, he's not careful to have him in a lazy state.
Mm.
And you can't do nothing with a spirit of laziness. That to be lazy, you know what I'm saying, or to see women providing in situations whereas the men should provide. So it definitely has an effect on society, because when you see your mama working 2 or 3 jobs, it's like your respect ain't for your dad, it's for your mama.
Yep.
you know, especially in a financial regard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But even though she can produce that, she still can't teach him how to be no man.
Yep.
You know
and
what
that's priceless. And I think with the masculine and the feminine conversation comes in. I heard y'all talking about earlier, and I think that the pimp had mentioned it's not even just about money. It's just the foundation. It's the foundation of it. You can see your mom being a breadwinner, but if your dad ain't working, what foundation is he offering to these men, these new age, these men, to where they see, hey, well, even if the woman is making more money than the men, is the man still providing that discipline? Is he still providing that the foundation to send the men out into the world?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give more context to it. In my situation, y'all know me. I'm in a same sex situation. I do what I do. My girl do what she do. You got a baby daddy situation, and it's like, well, now y'all together, so y'all can handle it. And in my opinion, I'm like, well, nah, we still need that. I'm not gonna. My pride ain't there to where I'm like, nah, we don't need the men around. We need the men around for these boys. We need the men around to go out and talk to these women.
Right.
We don't need.
Have y'all ever had a conflict like when it comes to you and her baby daddy, and y'all trying to have them like button heads on trying to make decisions when it comes to the boys or whatnot?
We had when I first started coming around, we bumped heads because he didn't understand, because it felt like I was providing more for them. So we bumped heads on that at first, until me and him started to really talk, and he understood where I was coming from, and I understood kind of where he was coming from. And me, I'm never gonna be the type that I don't want the dad around. I'm not a man. I might be the dominant person in my relationship. I might be able to show these boys something in their everyday life, like I'm grinding and getting it. Hey, this is what you need to do in life. But I will never take it away from the father that, hey, these boys need their father. They need to see that. They need to see it. Come and be involved in their life. So for that reason, me and him have a relationship. We actually have a friendship. And the way the circumstances lie, we probably shouldn't have a friendship, but we actually do. So now he's coming around, and at first it was not like that at all. It wasn't. It was like, let me leave. Oh, y'all gonna do that? Then let me leave it to y'all. Until he had to sit down for a minute and understand that, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do for my kids. Like, these are men. I can't raise your grown ass son. I just can't. I'm sorry. And I don't know if we can. we an hour and 13 minutes into the live, so I think I can say ass, but I can't raise your grown ass son. I need you to come around and talk to your son, give him advice about these women out here. The same way we can channel it from a women's perspective, he still needs that male perspective. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
That's all I can do is give him my perspective.
So, don't agree with a woman saying that she can be both mom and dad.
No, I don't. I do not agree with that. On Mother's Day and Father's Day, I purposely every year was making a post for the Like I be calling people out on that shit. You're not the mom and dad.
Uh,
You're not the mom and dad.
Agree or dis?
Yeah, we need real discipline. And in my home, my dad wasn't the disciplinary for me. So maybe that's why I'm a little bit more, I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm a little bit more masculine. But my mom was a disciplinary in my home. My mom was a provider in my home.
Hey,
Let me ask this question, right?
80s babies, them 80s babies had their mamas. Yeah.
You couldn't out, Mark. I can't hear. Maybe it's my thing. You couldn't out.
No,
Go ahead.
he couldn't.
Norris.
Oh. What was gonna ask, Norris? Go ahead. Pimp.
Let me ask y'all this, right? Do you think it's possible? Do you? Okay, it's cutting out pretty bad. Do you think it's possible for one person to provide both the masculine and the feminine, and they get it, and a child gets that from one source? Do you think that's humanly possible?
You cannot do that, Norris. You can't do it. You can't do that. But I say that because, let's say as a woman, you providing everything. You providing the material things. You showing your young son, and I'm only speaking from a perspective of having two sons or two boys in my household. One of them has moved out recently, so it's one now. But I say that from the perspective of the woman gonna provide. If let's say the boy came and he have a problem with females, right? Coming at the woman from perspective, she's only gonna give it from a woman perspective, even if the independent women still are giving it from a woman's perspective. They're not giving it from a man's perspective. You out here getting money, but you're not giving it to him as a man from a man's perspective. Like, so this is how you need to approach it as a man. You're giving it to him.
I'm real big on not really factoring on the genders. Like, I'm gonna lean towards the masculine and the feminine perspective.
So,
is it possible for a woman to give advice from a masculine perspective, not necessarily a man's perspective, but from a masculine perspective?
You can. So I'm saying woman and man. So when I say that, I'm saying it like it's possible for her to give it from a perspective of her experience, but I feel like as men growing up, they want to see it from their dads, or they want to see it from a man. They want to hear it from a man. Yo, a woman can tell them all day long, hey, these girls gonna be out here doing this. These girls gonna try to get you. But until they hear their dad say it and he share his experience, they not gonna really listen. They're not gonna really listen.
I think boys grow up respecting any advice their mom gives them. I don't think nobody has been equipped to give their advice. I think it's just a matter of if you actually prepared and aware. Like Cherie made a statement on many comments. Most people, Cherie said, most people haven't been taught and don't even know what masculinity and femininity truly is. They just don't know. So I think if a woman was aware of what masculinity is, right, she could be wholeheartedly aware of the information and understand the masculine perspective and wholeheartedly know what a masculine man would do. But in whatever the situation she may have went through, she would still be capable, I think, if she was fully aware of it. And this is a scenario for that woman to be able to accomplish that task. If she's a single mother at this point in time, she's fully aware that she wouldn't man. Either she chose to be with a man who doesn't understand how to be masculine, or she was being too masculine herself, right? So she's taking on the responsibility of has her part to play on why she's a single mother. Outside of that scenario, she still at this point she has to respect the father, even though they're not together anymore. She can't be slandering them. And then if there is a situation where she has to give her son, even as a woman, some masculine advice, I think that if she understood masculinity, she would be capable of giving that advice. I think the issue is that people just don't understand the energy at all, and the only thing they know is their anecdotal experience, and that's all they got. They're not even thinking in terms of masculine and feminine. They think in terms of I'm a woman, or I'm a strong, independent woman, or I'm a man, or I'm a single father, or I'm a baby daddy, or whatever. They're not even thinking about it in terms of the actual energy that breeds what they want to actually accomplish.
You right.
I think if a woman is aware of masculinity, she can give her son masculine advice. Like, for instance, like God provided the father actually died, right? So the perfect scenario, the father dies for a reason. he was a masculine father. She's fully aware of masculinity. The father dies, but she's still aware of the information instilled by the father, so she can still get the information to the son.
I think that's true. And I'm not saying it, I'm not negating all of that. I'm saying you can have the information. So let's take me out of the situation. Let's talk about we talking about society. So my situation may be different than society. So let's talk about
No,
that.
I was applying it to. I wasn't referring to you
Not
at
me,
all.
but
I was
I know. I'm
thinking
saying,
in general.
but I had to preface that because we on YouTube and it's gonna be here forever. So I have to preface it
No.
before body come back and see this. So I'm saying,
My ideal scenario what I'm talking about applies is it was a happy marriage. Some freak accident happened, and the father's no longer here because he died.
right?
She never remarries, but her kids aren't old enough to be outside the house, and she has a young son. He was getting masculinity from his father the whole time. She's fully aware of it, and she has the ability to still teach her son masculine things to do, even though she's not a man.
From what she learned from the information from
The father,
a non-simp father,
exactly.
a non-simp father. But and I say that because shit, when I was growing up, my dad didn't whoop me. He didn't chastise me. I felt like my dad simped for my mom. I still feel like that today. Like a lot of our fathers grew up thinking that they had to simp for the mom as opposed to leading them and being the man that she needed him to be. It's supposed to her taking over all the time.
That generation of men, this is how we started even hearing it being younger, growing up in our era. 80s and probably a little bit of 90s, baby.
90s.
But we heard oftentimes, man, even when I get with some older men, let's just say I get with some older men, I'm a teenager, I'm young in my 20s. I heard the old man tell me, said, just learn how to say yes. Just learn how to say yes, dear.
No.
And that's advice from a 40-year-old, 50-year-old man. But I'm saying that's the way they told us back in the day. It was almost like they gave us the mindset. These men were just like, just learn how to say yes.
Be a
you know
yes
what I'm saying?
man.
Just give her what she wants. It's gonna work. You never gonna that statement. You're never gonna win. So in an argument, men don't even challenge a situation they know is off with a woman, right? But to avoid conflict or the discussion or the argument or, she don't want you sleeping in the bed with her for 3 or 4 days, right? All these different games. To avoid all of that is just say yes.
You gotta sleep on the couch. This nonsense. I used to hear the stories. Oh, you gotta go sleep on the couch. Like what? How do you gotta sleep on the house of the house you pay for?
Yo, I ran into this old ass grandpa.
But that's what we heard. That's what we heard. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
all
I ran into
all
this.
The way of how it's going on.
But it's the same thing with the grandpas. So I ran into this old ass, strong ass grandpa the other day at the gym. This nigga is strong as fuck. And I attribute it to, so he started going to the gym to get away from the grandmas. It's like, y'all got all these handsome ass grandpas now because they don't want to be around these strong ass women. So what they're doing now, instead of arguing with the women, they're going to the gym. They're getting buff. And they're talking to these little young ass women pimp, can I cuss? I don't know. I keep saying ass. I'm sorry. Can I cuss on the live?
Yeah, it ain't. You can keep it to a minimum. But
keep
what
it
I'm
to a
saying,
minimum. Okay.
This is a different platform, so it's all good. It's a different show. We don't cuss on our main show, but we're gonna have guests that come in.
Go cuss. Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So what I'm saying is, I seen it bothered me a little bit because I'm like, this dude should be at home. This dude was walking out looking like Johnny Test. What y'all know the cartoon? Is it Johnny Test? It's a strong grandpa. He like after strong. And I'm like, Bernice at home not doing what she need to do. So you got this strong grandpa out at the gym trying to holler at these young girls because now she not at home. Instead of him being at home like our grandpas they used to go cheat, but they come back home. These grandpas is out now at the gym being strong. Why are you at the gym being strong?
But the beauty of that statement is why I need men to understand. The beauty of that statement is that men, the time, this I don't mean no shade by this. The time frame a man has to figure this life thing out, and the time frame a woman has to figure it out is totally different. A man can still make children after he's dead. A man can still produce a family into his 80s, 90s, 100s. But women have a short time period of trying to figure this out. God designed it that way for a reason.
So you think this grandpa, you think that grandpa out there still, you think that grandpa out there still make, this is what you trying to tell me, Phil? You telling me that grandpa?
He may not be doing it, but he has the ability to do it. He still could if he needed to. It's possible.
He didn't need to. But I decided to say this. Times have changed tremendously.
I'm not saying it's a wise idea. I wouldn't advise no 80-year-old man to do that, but he could if he wanted to. Is what I'm saying. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get to the next topic. Right
if he wanted to, he could. Yeah. God damn.
Yeah, it's biologically, but biologically he could. Right?
Didn't Jenna have a baby at 50?
Yeah.
Now I thought that man was about 60 or 70. He was out there looking like Johnny Cinco.
Right. Okay. We go ahead and get to the next topic, man. We've been having a good conversation, man. So what we were talking about, kind of prefacing this topic right here, is why do men deal with alpha females? Like if you and what's the type of man that we would even deal with that and be quote unquote happy? Is he really happy? Is there a man out there that's actually happy with being in a relationship with an alpha female? Meaning she's the breadwinner, she's the boss.
Like, because I hear guys saying, I'm cool with it. My wife makes $200,000, I make 70, right? So I'm cool with being at the house doing XYZ. But you see a brother that's saying that, you see him that day and he was happy that day. You see that brother in some weeks down the line, months down the line, years down the line, that brother don't look happy. I saw a dude, man, where his woman, she called the shots, she paid the bills because he didn't have the intellect. He didn't have the education, right? And so he allowed her to handle all of the finances and the big decisions she was making them. And he accepted it because of where he was mentally and by way of his education. So I think what it was, he lowered his own standards because of where he was financially. But that goes back to a conversation we had, Norris, where you were just like, a man that's not standing on his own 2 feet does not have a successful financial plan to take care of himself, number one, first. He should not even engage in relationship, so to speak.
So do you think that man is?
You got to
in your opinion, he ain't happy at all. That's not a good scenario for any man to be in.
I'm just telling you, man. I've been in situations where that woman really could be like, come in the house, and boom, he just go, like, go get the kids something, and that's how it wasn't even asked of. It's just like more demanding and forceful. And I just can't fathom, in my mind, I can't wrap my mind around him being happy, being told what to do. He's doing majority of the cooking. He's folding and washing all the clothes. He's getting the kids. And there's nothing wrong with these attributes. There's nothing wrong with these characteristics of a man, him having them. But I don't see where he was happy when he wanted to play his video game, so to speak. And that's another thing about these gamers. I done seen women really clown these gamer men that they have. It's a lack of respect in that thing. So no, I don't see a provider financially. And she's calling all the shots with the kids, what school they gonna go to, if it's gonna be private or if it's gonna be a public school setting. I haven't seen a man that I've come in contact with where the woman who kind of trumps him financially by way of education, it's a no-go for me.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and chime in on it. I'll segue, and pretty much everything you said is spot on, right on the money. Understand me? I think most men, and I will speak for this for myself, right? There was a point in time when I actually found a woman, like the woman who would wear the power suit, the most sexy kind of woman I had depicted in my mind, right, was the real curvy woman where she can wear like that pantsuit too, but that dress suit, understand me? You know, you got the little short skirt with like the blazer. You know, man, I don't know if they still wear those now, but that was a thing back when I was growing up. That was the most sexy outfit I ever seen in my life. That was the one, boy. And then she had that little Mary J. Blige haircut, you know, with the taper back going on with the little curls at the top. Ooh-wee, that was the one for me, baby. Understand me? And she look mean, understand me? She look like she gonna talk that noise, understand me? That was the one for me. But I wouldn't necessarily say there's something wrong with that type of woman, but I had a simp mind state at the time, so I always fall back on the energy aligns itself. So at the time, I had no issue with a woman being an alpha female or being strong and independent, because that's what in my mind, that's what I told myself I wanted when I was younger.
Well,
that's actually what I was quote unquote happy with and wanted to be with.
Rightful place at that time.
Say it again.
You weren't mentally where you are now then, which is why that was acceptable then.
Right. I had you on mute, Nico. You had something to say.
I know. I'm saying it because when I first moved to Dallas, that's what I was doing. I was looking for the Amazon type. I'm like, bitch, you small as what? Why you small? Why are you looking for the Amazon kind of crazy thing? But that's why it goes back to the mom. Like, I'm looking for the crazy type of woman. My mama used to fight my dad. I mean, like, what up? I'm on live. I'm on a live.
Hi, live.
I'm on a live video right now.
Oh, he bring up to the show, understand me? Hey.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Hey,
Bob,
you get on the couch, understand me? Hey, he bring up back on. Hey. What's going on, man? Hey, we need to get that camera rolling,
The
man.
whole show
Now it's like you looking
got
for
action
the
over there. We got action, baby.
But now you looking for the woman that's kind of a little crazy. Like, I like the little crazy type that's kind of.
Yeah. I was attracted to that. I really didn't like that.
That's a lot of responsibility, though.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy now? That literally, the strong woman like that, they literally disgust me now at this point. Like, I'm not even playing. Like, it literally turns me off to the point to where she may as well be a gay man at this point to me.
I know, right. You're doing too much. What are you doing?
I'm for real. She may as well be a woman who act like that and look like that and want to be large and in charge. She may as well be a gay man. Like, I'm good.
I feel you, man.
Like, baby, I cut your hair. I cut your hair, baby. You got to pay for her. I cut your hair. That's about it.
I give you a fade. I
paid you up real good.
You want the razor fade?
Hey,
you want the Beijing?
All right, then, bro.
That's all I got, baby. That's all I got for you, baby. Is a haircut, understand me?
You want the Beijing?
Yeah.
Hey,
I get you.
Hey,
Mr. Pimp. Everything. Free of charge, understand me?
I gotta get off this show tonight. We gotta get rid of TT little kids tomorrow. Nikki, I know you know I'm teaching at P Elementary, and we excited about it in the special education department. So it's been a long day. I'm still in my suit. I done been in 2 or 3 services a day. So
I like that. I like that
we
you
gonna
coming
get some
through
rest
with that.
tonight.
You looking good with the red.
Hey, before you go, I want you to go. We had a topic. What does God think about the alpha female? So if you could, like, look up some scriptures right quick. I'm gonna put you on mute. But one of the topics we had was, what does God think about alpha females? So if you could, like, just look up some scriptures, like, right fast about what does God have to feel about masculine women, pretty much. I'll put you on mute right quick, and we'll circle back around. That'll be the last thing I need you to do for me.
Pastor gotta get up in the morning. You say you gotta go teach your children. I know, right?
Yeah,
well, I'm off on Monday, so I'm good for the evening. I probably could have shot over there or something.
All right. Next topic. Why do women think being an alpha female is good? From my perspective, I think that, everything society is telling women to be strong, independent, be that boss or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Everything society is really telling women to do that. There's nothing really telling women that there's any detriments to being the quote unquote strong, independent woman. Everything society is telling them that's the way to go. And I don't see anything really rebooting that. Only evidence we have for women saying that the strong, independent narrative or the alpha female narrative ain't really too much working out is when they get older, when they're not as pretty as they used to be. The Lisa Rays, the Megan, the Vivica Foxes, all the women on that.
Nia Long, even.
Yeah, all those exactly. All those women on that BET Soul Show, all those women fall into the category. All the women on that panel fall into the category of the strong, independent, alpha female type women. All of them, if you ask me.
I want to circle back to what you had said the other night. Remember, you was like Halle Berry got cheated on. Then after you did the live, Nia Long got cheated on.
Right.
And everybody was like, how they gonna cheat on Nia Long? And Hannah was like, shit, she be thirsty.
Yeah, she one of the most beautiful women ever. And I heard some rumors. I ain't go say that on the live, but I heard some rumors about.
Let's create the controversy. Let's say it.
All these people in Hollywood got to do some stuff to get down. But I heard a rumor she was in them back rooms, and that's why Nia Long, even though she's beautiful, she is. I don't know if she got kids, but as beautiful as she is, she's never been married ever.
Never been married. Still getting cheated on, and it's like I heard somebody say when everybody was like, well, how's Nia Long still getting cheated on? Somebody was like, well, why not? Because it's like for the one beautiful, you know how it used to be, well, it's a beautiful woman. Now it's like for one beautiful woman, you got 10 beautiful women. You got options. Like men got options now. They don't have to be loyal to Nia Long.
Right.
Yeah, they'll use the Nia Long to get, it's like a trading card. I'm going to use Nia Long to trade my favorite in for the upgraded Nia Long.
Right. Well, women naturally they're going to assess the value of the man based on the woman he's with. So if they see he with Nia Long, they're going to make him be more attractive by default.
Yep.
So it all comes back. The reason why Nia Long continues to get cheated on because she's not feminine enough. She's way too masculine. Only way, and she still wants to date men who are somewhat masculine. See, only way a woman like Nia Long is gonna be in a happy relationship, she got to get a dude like Dwayne Wade, who's comfortable with his son wearing hair and all this other stuff. That's the only way. That's the only way the alpha female thing works. Being an alpha female, you have to get a dude like Dwayne Wade is willing to let you call all the shots. That's the only way it works.
Who's comfortable with his divine femininity is what they trying to say. Now it's divine. They call it divine femininity. But I think it's just so I've heard this. This is a thing that I've been hearing a lot lately. Is that because you come from a man and a woman, you have to be in touch with your feminine side in order to have the masculine side. I've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. But
nah, let's just tell you this. I just got brought back in. I don't like none of that. But let me say this.
But you know what? But there was a point in time when I used to subscribe to that. I used to say I need to be in touch with my sister. So I used to say that and really mean it. Now I know that's probably one of the most foolish things I could ever say in my life.
That's weird to me. I think that dude are trying to be gay and they're just using it as an excuse. Go ahead, Pastor. I'm sorry.
I was just saying I agree with Norris when he admits to that. Once we figure the women out in its totality, get in touch with that nature, then we can be a better us as a man. Yeah. We'll be able to, relate to them. We're supposed to have a better.
The thing is, we're not supposed to be relating to them. They're supposed to be relating to us.
So in reality, like I talked about, when I called in last week, and I think we talk about roles and positions. I think once you, like you said, or like you always say, like master yourself. Be a mastery of self. If you the leader, you the provider, you be in the masculine role, master that. Let her master being the feminine side. You master your side and you all good. And then y'all meet up where y'all meet up at.
Right. So I go a step further, put it in like more of a logical sense. A marriage is nothing more than a business, right? Every business has one CEO. It ain't got two CEOs, it has one. The man is the CEO of the relationship. He's the CEO of the marriage. He should be a CEO before he meets her. And she should be a CFO, aka a wife, before she gets married. You must be a wife before you get married. You must be a husband before you get married. And when y'all come together, all I do is just go mess up. She go fall right in line because she's already a wife. See, women have been conditioned to do stuff conditionally. When you can't do nothing conditionally, a masculine man who's a CEO is not going to hire somebody who's not fit for the job. And he's not going to expect you to be trained up for the job. You don't get hired for the CEO to expect to be trained up other than just learning the lay of the land of the company. But you should have the full function, the full capabilities of being a CEO, aka a wife, before you even accept the job. If you can't do all the wife duties, then you're not fit for the job. You can go get fired. And there should be consequences of getting fired. Should be a consequence. Ain't nobody getting fired now. Men out here writing hot checks. Women don't feel like they got no consequences. They can't get fired. Women are quitting. They ain't getting fired. They just quit. And they get to quit and take their pay with them.
And take it with them. Give me half of what we earned. We didn't earn anything.
Take the pay and the kids.
Yeah. And a lot of women might hate me for saying this, but I don't want a virgin. I don't want to meet a virgin and be like, oh, I gotta teach you everything. We're grown. Why am I meeting a virgin and now I gotta train you on this. No. Oh, I don't want nobody.
You ready with the scriptures? I didn't mean to cut you off, but I know Pastor gotta go. You ready with the scriptures?
Oh, okay.
1 Timothy 2:11 suggests, and I'm paraphrasing, but 1 Timothy 2:11 verses 11 through 14, it has in there within those 3 verses, women learn in silence, and then not only that, but I would say in a pastoral realm, a preacher realm of the matter, to answer the question that was asked as it relates to men and women. Well, a pastor, the qualification of a pastor would be that of a man being a one wife. So therefore, obviously, a woman can't never be a man of one wife. And that's the qualifications of it. So what are you saying? Me as a pastor, the qualifications of a pastor would be man of one wife, suggesting that there's also a scripture that says anything with 2 heads is a freak. You can't have 2 heads. So that's just the way it is. You just cannot have 2 heads. It's a conflict. It's just like having 2 CEOs. It's just like, I mean, it's gonna be a problem off the rip, because scripture says, and that's found in 1 Timothy 3:2, where it says a man of one wife. And so since I know that no woman can ever do that, a lot of people, they ask me like, well, how do you feel about women pastors? Well, the Bible says she shouldn't have authority over man. I didn't say she couldn't speak the word of God and minister, or she couldn't preach. But when she becomes a pastor, that puts her in headship over me. There's already been a divine order established, right? And so when we get out of that order, then there's chaos. And then once there's chaos, we all know what happens from there. It's like a domino effect. So if we stay in the line of the word, there's a scripture for everything. And we come right back to that as we on the congregation couch, right? And having this discussion, ultimately, it comes back to the word, because all the questions that we have, there is an answer in the word. We just want to take in out of it. We want to take in out of it and make it fit our situation. But if we would stop trying to make it fit and allow the word to sit where it sit, then we'll be in good shape. When we have this conversation right now, you know what I'm saying? So everybody got to stay in their place. So no, I don't think that an alpha male and alpha woman can coexist. It was never designed to be that way.
It's like leaning into, that I think people took and ran with lean not into their own understanding, and then people start reading the Bible and using it for their everyday to justify their everyday means. It's a battle now. Well, I did this, so let me look up this scripture right now, because it's like looking on Google. The Bible isn't Google, but it's like looking on Google. I go type in something, and now I found an answer for what I was looking for, but you typed that in.
Ultimately,
you typed it in.
It's a power struggle. A lot of the women preachers, what we have to deal with on this scale, on this platform, is that women like, who are you to say God didn't call no woman to preach? Wasn't it God that told her to go tell the disciples that he had done risen from the dead? He had walked out of the tomb. Wasn't it women that were supposed to deliver the message? No one said you couldn't deliver a message. You just shouldn't have no authority over me. And when a man, whoever he is, allows a woman to have authority over him, he has already lost the battle. It's over with. There's no respect. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, we got to keep the respect of the word. Women can learn in silence. Don't no one want to hear that. What, silence me? I got a voice. I make more money than he make. I run circles around him in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? Silence me. So it's an offense. But You know, you wouldn't be offended if you respected your place. So that's my take on it biblically. That's my take on it. And guess what? I can stand to be corrected because we all have our interpretation of the scripture. However, I don't argue with the scripture either. You know, so that's what I have for you all on tonight. I enjoyed this this podcast, this YouTube live on tonight. Great job to you and the kid, my classmates, both of my classmates. I've enjoyed it. We're gonna get off and get ready for these kids tomorrow to take some of that masculinity to a school full of females and women. We're gonna be at least one strong masculine man on campus on tomorrow. Yeah,
you can stop the mass shooter, Pastor.
Right, for real.
All right, man, get some rest, man. We're gonna finish it up, man. We're gonna wrap it up. We'll be done in about 30 minutes, I guess.
All right, man. Bless you, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right, so next topic. What are the benefits of being an alpha female? Understand me?
Give me the bag real quick. Go ahead, Norris. Go ahead.
What are the benefits of being an alpha female? So there's plenty of women that subscribe to this and are proud to be this and proud to call themselves that. So what are the perceived benefits of being an alpha female? What are they actually accomplishing? What are they actually getting?
What you think they get?
They're getting the ability to be in charge. Like I think people are addicted to being in charge of things. Like everybody wants to be in charge, so to speak. I don't think there's nobody out there that doesn't like being in charge. But I think most women who subscribe to this alpha female notion, they want the benefits of being in that position of power, but they don't understand the detriment that they're doing to their love life, to their social life. They don't understand that you can't have that kind of persona on the outside world and then bring that back home. They don't understand that you can't be an alpha female in the streets and an alpha female in the sheets. You just can't do both. It's just not going to compute. You're not going to get the kind of, and an alpha female woman feels like she's entitled to the best pick of the men out here. That's the crazy part about it. Women in that position feel like that the more successful they are from a corporate level, they feel like the more valuable they are when it comes to men. Like they really do feel like them having a better job and a better degree upgrades their ability to get better men, which that actually more times than not is actually going to lower their ability to get a good man, because they're going to be leaning so much on their masculine energy that any masculine man that actually they would actually even attempt to want to be with is not going to deal with them. It's just the nature of the beast. Masculine men don't gravitate towards women who are conducting themselves in a masculine manner. That's just not how it happens.
Yeah. But I feel like men and women don't turn it off, because let's just say I'm gonna use for example because it relates to more people in society. The typical average middle class man that goes out and work every day, the street dude that goes in the streets and hustles. The woman, she had to face what she had to face. The man had to face what he had to face. So when they come home, they don't turn the energy off, because it's like, now because they dealt with so much in society, they're beefing with each other. So the benefits of it is, it's not really a benefit, but because they're in their mind and the inception that they played all day out in the working world or out in the streets all day, is that people have been so against me all day, so now they're in a defense mode. Back in the day, the grandmas wasn't really just, before it became like that, before I think our generation came to be, where our moms was working and hustling and making the money, it was, the grandmas was just staying at home, so they weren't really dealing with what was going on outside of the home. They were only in the home. So shoot, they didn't have to turn nothing on and off. Now if you don't know how to turn that on and off switch on when you are out on and off when you come home, it's a problem, because now y'all battling each other. So I think it's generational. I really think it's generational. I think social media plays a part in it. I think society plays a part in it. I think a lot of things play a part in it that we really don't even have no problem with each other. It's just society. Like you got your situation, right? You got a strong foundation with your situation. y'all have a strong mentality, but the average person, the average woman, a man might have did something wrong to her at the gas station, and she'll come home and take that on her man. I really don't think it's a benefit to be an alpha female. I think it's a benefit to knowing your role.
Okay. I mean, like I said, I don't think it's a benefit because I don't think even the women who are alpha females, if she's a heterosexual woman, she don't really want to be in the alpha position. She actually wants a man.
She's submissive.
That's actually masculine enough to make her want to submit. But she's been conditioned to do it from a conditional standpoint, and she doesn't understand the dynamic that if you try and do things conditionally, a masculine man is not going to tolerate that kind of mentality because he understands he's a CEO, so he's only hiring CFOs and people who are already fit for the job. He's not looking to condition a woman who's not fit for the job to kind of shape her into the job. Now, if he see you got potential to work into the job, yeah, he'll work with you. But both ain't no strong independent woman or a masculine quote unquote alpha female. She has no potential to be a wife to a man who's actually masculine. It's just not going to happen.
So, what do you look for on a resume when you talk about CEOs and CFOs? On that resume, what stands out to you to make you say, I want to connect with this woman? What's standing out to you?
The number one thing at this point in time is she has to demonstrate femininity when in my presence at all times. And what I mean by that, number one, she can't be quick to argue with me about anything. Now, there's being submissive around me is not about not having a voice. It's about not talking when I'm talking. If you notice on our show, all the women, whenever they're around, a lot of people are asking, why don't the girls talk? Well, they even my sister started getting into that because she was like, it was times when she was hesitant to speak because she understood how to respect the masculine energy or whatever at the time. She has been conditioned to understand the importance of holding a feminine stance, meaning don't try to rebuttal and don't listen to respond, listen to process and maybe take some instructions. And then if you do have a response, there's a way of going about doing that from a feminine perspective. I may say something that you wholeheartedly disagree with in that moment, right? But you still may carry it out anyway. And then there's a way to finesse that scenario within your femininity. Like whenever you circle back around where we lay in the bed and we pillow talking or whatever, and you got me in a feminist, you got me more in your realm. We in the bed naked, cuddle up. Yeah, that's your opportunity to say, hey, babe, when you brought this up yada yada earlier, how about I understand what you did and I carried out anyway, but how about maybe we can do it this way next time? And in that scenario, no masculine man is going to be upset with that. He may hear you out and still say, we still gonna do it my way. But that's your moment to say, hey, babe, you know what, you're right. Just maybe next time we'll do it your way. And it's really just as simple as that. Being
shout out
feminine,
to the protege too. I want to give her a shout out.
Yeah, being feminine is not about being a robot. It's about understanding. For me, in my perspective, the number one trait she got to have of all things is she got to have the ability to have another content creator that really deep on the masculine frame is she has to possess shut upness. And shut upness is not about being a mute.
What? It's not about, hold on. Run it back. What is it called?
Shut upness. Like when I start speaking, don't keep talking. Being feminine is not about being a robot or being a pushover. You can be the strongest, most Amazon woman on earth out in the streets. But when I'm talking, you can't be talking when I'm talking. There's a way to go about that dynamic. The same way you go and respect your boss, they work every day. Women, when all these alpha females, if they got a corporate America job, unless they own the company, they shut up for their boss. Absolutely, they shut up for their boss. So they best damn shut up for their man at the house.
Let me play devil's advocate on it. What about the women who say, well, you men are going out there and shutting up for y'all bosses too? Just to play devil's advocate.
Right. So my thing is this, right? Every man's not going to be a leader in society, right? But every man, this is biblical, and I mentioned that on the last live video. Every man's not going to be a leadership boss scenario in society, but every man must be a leadership boss scenario within the constraints of his family.
Okay.
The women are the ones who have to manage that. They are the ones who have to understand If you go out here and decide you want to be an alpha female in out there in the streets, as far as you want to be a boss and have a CEO corporate job and make a lot of money, you got to understand that doesn't help you out when it comes to your man. Unless you planning to give, only way that helps you out, woman, is you planning to give every dime you make to him. That's the only way it helps you. Then maybe you can have a little mouth then, but even then it ain't gonna benefit you.
It's not, especially if you're not giving your. So in a damn, I hate to say this, in a pimp hole situation, even when the girl come and bring home all the woman to the man, he's still the one that's gonna make all the financial decisions. So you still, in my opinion, have no actual say so, because you put yourself in a situation to where you're giving somebody total control of what you should do with your finances.
And truth be told, that's probably one of the most masculine jobs on earth, is being a pimp.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I don't subscribe to that. Never will. For disclaimer, understand me. My name stands.
And I think a lot of people are confused by that. So we always started out there, but I don't even like that you have to explain that to a lot of people. But it is what it is.
Right.
But,
so that's why there's periods in between every word in that word. Understand me?
Right.
It's an acronym. Understand me?
Right.
Play on words. Understand me? We do it all the time. All right. Next topic. What are the downfalls of doing that? We've been talking about these all show. Understand me?
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest things that women who want to be alpha females, they understand wholeheartedly the likelihood of you actually getting in a relationship with a man you actually like and want us slim to none. You more than likely will have some children, maybe if you want to, and you will have a good job, but you will absolutely positively either die alone, or you will be in a relationship with a man you don't really like that, and you just there and to be a life of misery, and you just going along to get along because you don't want the shame of getting a divorce, so to speak. Those are the downfalls of being an alpha female, and you are exposed to way more danger. It's way more difficult to protect yourself as a woman in society nowadays. Men are stronger than you. That's just what it is. So you'll never have the protection and provision of a masculine man, or any man for that matter, because more than likely any dude you deal with is going to be a simp type dude, and may or may not actually be capable of protect you or himself. He may not be the kind of guy to protect anybody, let alone his family. So that's the biggest downfall. Those other ones is all that masculinity deficiency for women that's what's causing depression. That's what's causing them to have all these health issues. Their bodies breaking down. I see women on the timeline all day working out, but they say their spine and stuff all messed up, and they out here struggling. They in the hospital and stressed out. 1 minute they on live taking a sideways selfie in the gym. A couple of days later, they in the hospital laid up with IV.
So if they
really
taking
killing themselves out here
sideways,
trying to do this stuff, man.
let me interject with that. If they taking side, so I've been in the gym for about a few months now. I feel like a lot of women go to the gym just to say they going to the gym. They not really in the gym, so they taking sideways selfies in the gym and then they dying.
No, I see women set up a whole webcam, did a whole production, hauled the squat machine for like 2 hours, taking pictures of herself. Most of her time was spent posing for the camera. She wasn't working out that much.
I've seen it. They and I'm like, girl, I've seen her. I went to the kids. No lie. Girl, she was on a crunch machine on her phone. I'm like, so your fat behind, I won't cuss, your fat behind came up here to the gym to do an Instagram post, but you ain't really working out. So when they see you and this is the thing, a lot of people get on social media and they say and they claim and they profess, and then when you see them in real time, it's like, well, dang, you've been saying and manifesting and prophesizing and saying all these things, but was you doing it? Because you don't look like anything has changed. And I don't mean to get down on the women, but and this is just for everybody. Why are you lying? People gonna see you. What are you doing? That's one of the downfalls to me. I feel like actions are louder than words. A lot of people professing, they're proclaiming, they're saying, I'm an alpha female. We've had discussions back channel, offline, about people who are they're saying they this and they're saying that, but in reality it's not that. But I'm like, why are you false proclaiming and why are you saying this to people when you don't have to prove any? What makes people? Let me ask you this question: what makes people want to have to feel like they have to prove stuff to people when they won't be able to really prove it if you actually seen them?
Because they like the same thing with me and the pastor was talking about the fake checks, right? Everybody out here writing hot checks, right? So a man's the real tangible thing that a woman wants from a man is pure, unadulterated masculinity. That's what she really wants. When a woman's not getting that, she's gonna try to fill that void with something else. She's gonna fill that with anything and everything else other than the real deal thing she really wants to get. So people have been conditioned to put on for clout or whatever. Put on. Everybody wants to save face. No woman wants to really get on social media and profess that my marriage failed because I was too masculine. No man wants to get on social media and confess that my marriage failed because I was too feminine. Nobody wants to say that. I know a guy who, like, we was talking offline on inbox type thing. This guy was literally cheated on by his wife while he was, quote unquote, on his deathbed, quote unquote. His wife is not that pretty at all. She's average at best, understand me. And this dude in that scenario still has the audacity to say he's not a simp and say that simp don't apply to him because his wife ain't paying his ex-wife's child support or whatever. But every other block that you could think of for a simp activity, he checks all of those. To the point to where he's up here getting photo shoots and taking sideways selfies and still holding on to maybe a career in show business that may or may not ever pan out. We 40 now, sir. If it didn't happen for you a while back, likely if it happened right now, life's slim to none. But he's still holding on to the feel good thing. He's not really attached to the tangible results, so to speak. So to circle back around on the downfall, it goes both ends, right? The only kind of man that's going to deal with alpha females are simp, aka feminine, aka men right here writing hot checks. And if you decide to be an alpha female, you decide to subscribe to that. Just rest assured, this is the benefits that come with that. That's just what it is. And I haven't seen a scenario in my lifetime where there's an alpha female with a masculine man. It doesn't exist.
I don't think it would, because like you always say, somebody has to be this energy. It has to be a yin and a yang, I feel like.
Yeah. So people like to throw around the equally yoked thing. They misinterpret that. People think equally yoked meaning that y'all both bringing the same thing to the table. No, that's why it's called a yoke. There's two sides of a scenario. One side of the yoke represents masculinity. One side of the yoke represents femininity. It's not y'all both coming with the same thing. That's not what equal is referring to. When y'all both have the same side of the yoke falls off the calf. So that's what's going on. Both people are coming with the same energy, either whether it's masculinity or femininity. Nobody's maintaining the opposite to keep the yoke balanced. That's just how it works. That's just what it is.
That equal sign is throwing people out. Shit.
Yeah. So that's our last topic for tonight. We're gonna wrap it up. So just to give a little game, right? So how do you stop? Okay, so you watch this live, you stumble on this video, past, present, future, whenever, and you want to know, okay, I'm being an alpha female is giving me great success in my financial life. I got a good lifestyle. I can pay for myself. I got a big body Benz, understand me? I got a nice house. My kids is well behaved, but I just got a void in my life. No, I can't keep a man. I got everything I want but a man. And the reason I can't have this man is because I'm a quote unquote alpha female. The way you fix that, young lady, is you got to really understand and study femininity. You need to study and learn and process that. There's plenty of books out there that you can read, plenty of subject matter you can subscribe to teach you how to be more feminine, period. And I understand that process. My sister said that I've taught her how to be more feminine. I was actually kind of taken back by that comment because I never thought I heard a woman say that a man could teach her how to be more ladylike. I didn't really think that was really a valid comment until she gave more context to it. And I think it's really more the nature of how I was explaining how a woman, even though she's not a man, she can still process what masculinity is to the point where she can teach it to her son. And I feel the same way about women. You need to understand what a masculine man is. And if you don't understand what femininity is, maybe you can understand what masculinity is since you've been in it your whole time. And maybe you can ask a masculine man what he would want out of a woman.
Get an understanding.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing I had to do it. I didn't. It only took one scenario. I mean, I ain't never been in a bad spot when it came to women. I ain't never been ugly, and I ain't never been super broke. Even when I
You
would,
ugly, man. You ugly.
even when I even understand me now. Hey, I'm one of the prettiest things smoking. I just go, hey, if I go outside right now, I'm gonna have people want to take pictures. Understand me? I don't know. You see what it is. Understand me? Don't do that. Don't do that.
You know I gotta mess with you.
But the thing is that every man's not gonna be in my scenario.
Yeah.
And I understand that, right? So that's why I always say, it ain't about being a leader in society. It's about being a leader in your home. There's somebody for everybody. There's levels to this. Understand me? There's some men who ain't gonna be the most handsome, ain't gonna be the most successful, ain't gonna be the brightest apple of the bunch, but he can still conduct himself like a man within the constraints of his home. There's men out here even though they got all these, what you perceive as marks against them, for as they ain't the prettiest or the handsomest or the most successfully financially stable, they still manage to have children.
Yeah.
And one of the most submissive things a woman can do with a man is have his kids. So how do these men who are not capable of being what you would perceive a man to be, how are they still reproducing? The only reason that's logically possible is because men and women are both existing in the energy they shouldn't really be existing in, and they finding a common place, and they all doing this the whole time. And in the means of doing that, they find a way to have some kids, and that's literally what's going on. Myself personally, I figured I was able to avoid that whole kid thing somehow, some way. Even
a rarity. You're a rarity.
Even in the midst of my simp behavior, that's the one thing that I never did. Understand me? So, not to say that it was a positive or negative experience. I'm not really, putting too much clout or too much validity on the fact that I don't have kids. I don't really necessarily think that's an advantage. It does give me the opportunity to move around a little bit more. I was able to take more risks when it came to get my life in order. Understand me? But as far as anything else, I don't really think it really factors in too much. You can still have kids and all this stuff, and if you conduct yourself like a masculine man, you'll still get everything you want out of life. The path may be a little bit more difficult because you have priorities and stuff, but you can still accomplish the task at hand.
And I think I want to add to that too, as far as you not having the kids and being able to move around how you want to. I think it also gives you a less biased opinion when it comes to those type of situations. And you deal with kids. You're around women that have kids, and I've seen you with kids. So you
kids love me, man. I'm a kid's best friend. All kids love the shit out of me. All kids love me.
Yeah. So I think
I can make the kid do
stuff
that mothers can't do.
Yeah.
Crazy, oddly enough.
Yeah, I don't think this has been a disadvantage for you. And people always mention, well, you don't have kids, so you can't say this. Well, no, I know how kids should be controlled and maintained. Whether I have them or not, I can still give my opinion on what kids are and how they should be. So it's not a disadvantage, definitely.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to wrap it up. We've been on here for over 2 hours, man. We had a good viewership. We had up to like 10 people watching at one time, understand me? It was a pretty good turnout, understand me? We're going to keep bringing y'all more lives, understand me? Because it seems like the people is liking it, understand me? Our numbers are doing quite well. The first live did way better than I anticipated. And this one right here did just as good, understand me? We probably going to start doing lives. Maybe we can start making like a random thing or a common thing on Sunday and Wednesday night, understand me? Those might be good nights for everybody to get on here, understand me? By the way, like and subscribe, understand me? If you want to chime into the live, understand me? Don't be a stranger. We go try to. I understand some of these topics are kind of hard hitting. Some people may or may not disagree, but rest assured, I've done all the hard work, so you don't have to. I'm literally putting together a blueprint. So all you gotta do is just really check the box and follow instructions. You'll get what you want to get out of this. If your goal is to be in a happy marriage, follow the instructions that I put out on this stuff, and to follow the instructions and the toolage of the pastor, the pimp, and the protege, understand me? Your PBP plan, understand me? You get you to the promised land, understand me? Just what it is going to do. We didn't do all this stuff.
And it's okay to disagree. Call in and disagree. I feel like people be scared because they feel like they got to agree. They call in on the show and they feel like they got to necessarily.
No, necessarily, but that's just a stance. The thing is, we doing this stuff with so much bravado and so much confidence. It's kind of hard to argue with us. I was on a platform a couple months ago, and I thought it was a person on there I thought was going to argue with me, and then given the opportunity to argue, they didn't say nothing. It's like, no, I'm good. And I thought for sure they was gonna have smoke, but they didn't have no smoke because everything I was saying it with so much confidence and validity that what you gonna say? Even people that was agreeing with me up front, eventually they started saying, you know what, he may say it crazy, but I actually can see where he's coming from. So
yeah, you be saying it crazy. You say it a little crazy.
I'm trying to work on that. That's why I say we don't cuss on this show. That's why I'm saying we trying to put things in a logical, tangible order. I took out the time to make topics, make talking points, and trying to present them in a way that people can understand it, so they can actually process the information and learn from it. Understand me? The goal is to save souls and help people get what they want to get out of life. It ain't to demean nobody, but there are idiots on the planet. I have a big issue with idiots. Understand me? That's something that I got to work on. Is my engagement with people who I think are stupid. But that's neither here or there. Understand me? My bad. I don't get along with idiots too well.
Y'all like and subscribe. Survival of the Simp. Check out all the episodes. Tune in. The lives is these. I feel like these are good discussions to have. I know we're wrapping it up, but share it, subscribe, follow the episodes, hit the notification bell so you can get the information when it comes in. And I think this is good information. They sharing it from a different standpoint than everybody doing. They got the scripture involved in it.
Yeah,
you see the work being done. So
yeah, we got women on here chiming in. Most of these other content creators, they got just a woman talking or just a dude talking. There's no collaboration amongst the sexes, and they ain't got the word. We making the word the whole basis of our show. Every show we have gonna have some kind of scriptural basis to it. That's just what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate y'all for having me on. I'm usually behind the scenes, so I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Cool. All right, church. It's been a pleasure. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have no relevant football tonight. You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys playing tomorrow, understand me? I think this was a very productive conversation. I hope everybody enjoyed it, understand me? It's been a pleasure and a privilege, understand me, to come here and bring y'all this game of things I've learned over the past 5 or 6 years of my life, understand me? This wasn't a path that was too easy, but understand me? Rest assured that anything we teach on this platform is going to be to your benefit, understand me? Please like and share and subscribe, understand me? I appreciate all y'all staying with me on the live. Y'all been here for a solid 2 hours, understand me? Appreciate the love, understand me? This channel is growing, understand me? It's doing exactly what the Lord said it was going to do when I had the mindset to doing this thing and putting the money behind it, making sure it look good for y'all. Hope y'all appreciate it. I apologize last week, Wednesday. The quality wasn't where we need to be with the cameras, but understand me? As we can see, we come through live and in effect, understand me? Shiny and chrome, understand me? So until next time, we'll see y'all later, understand me? Survival of the Simp, baby.